welcome. It is Tuesday, October 3rd? 3rd. We're into October, the fall. So we're here at a school board meeting, a special school board meeting, and it is 4:20. And I'm going to turn to Clerk Sadowski and she'll take roll.
Member Eder.
Present.
Member Kirby.
Here.
Member Lafayette.
Here.
Member Lofald.
Here.
Member Oswald.
Excused.
Excused. Thank you. I am here, and Member Sandholm.
Present.
Superintendent Magus.
Present.
Assistant Superintendent Barnes.
Present.
Deputy Clerk Zunich.
Present.
Executive Director Bejar Shadowns is excused. And Board Secretary Paquette.
Here.
Perfect.
Thank you. And today on our agenda, we have two items. If you look at our agenda, we are looking at number 3, and it is authorizing the closing of the sale of a real property with the street address of 3200 West Superior Street. So we'll look at that resolution and look for a motion and a second and a vote. And then we have number 4, an approval of an RFP about construction management. So looking at our resolution, do I have any administration that want to speak to this resolution, or if not, I'll entertain a motion. Seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve resolution B-10-23-3987, and whoever asks the motion, I would ask that you would read the resolution fully.
So moved.
So, Member Eder.
Resolution authorizing the closing of the sale of real property with the street address of 3200 West Superior Street, Duluth, Minnesota. Do you want me to go through the whole thing, Joe? Whereas the school board previously authorized, upon the identification of a buyer and agreement to all terms and conditions of the sale of the real property legally described on Exhibit A hereto, the real property. And whereas the school board has reviewed and considered a written purchase agreement for the sale of the real property in a closed session held on Thursday, July 27, 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the school board authorizes the execution of the purchase agreement by the school board chair Jill Lofald, and authorizes school board chair Jill Lofald to sign all documents required to carry out and close the sale and the conveyance of the real property and the performance and obligation of the district under the purchase agreement.
It's been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Member Kirby seconds. All those in favor of the resolution say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. And so we've completed that motion. Finance Chair Zunich, so we'll continue on with number 4, and that's an RFP memorandum. And do we have someone that wants to speak to that from our administration team? Facilities Manager.
I'm Brian Brown, the Facilities Manager. We sent an RFP for construction manager of the DNT building. We sent it to a few different firms. ICS, Apex, and Cross Anderson responded. My recommendation is to go with ICS. They are not only lower on the overall percentage of cost on the project, but all their personal description, their flat rate cost per personnel were lower, and same with their flat rate reimbursables. They were lower on everything. So I had a lengthy discussion with Pat Oberman, and because he thought that they should just automatically get it, and I said, no, we were going to do it this way. And I said, so we want to make sure that everybody's pencil is good and sharp, and they agreed to go along with it. And they won it anyway, but they came in on some things much lower than the other competition. So my recommendation is to go with ICS.
Board members have discussion?
I have a question. Yep. Just wanted to check on kind of 3 things. One is, are they committed to using union contractors?
Yes. I've worked with all 3 companies before, and they are committed to using union workers.
Okay. And have they worked on school buildings in the past?
Yes. Again, I've been doing this for about 30 years, and I've worked with all 3 companies on different sizes of school projects, adding on to schools, rebuilding schools, and a new high school.
And, certainly appreciate your expertise and your longevity working with schools, so, and your recommendation. I guess my one other question, and I'm sorry, maybe I should know this, but where are they out of, ICS?
ICS is, they have a local office, and they're based out of Minneapolis. They're the ones that did the project up here. Apex is out of Minneapolis. And Carl Sanderson is all over the state of Minnesota. They have an office up here, and they also have offices all over.
And my last question is will we be signing a project labor agreement on this project?
You will just be awarding it tonight. I don't know what the process is for the rest of it.
Any other questions or discussion? I think Member Lockwood Kemp for her questions, they kind of covered mine as well, and I do know that ICS was our project coordinators and managers up here on this campus, and I feel like they were really great at addressing board concerns early on in our project, bringing us up to the campus here and showing us and answering questions. So I appreciate the RFPs going out and the process that you're being committed to. I think that just is the integrity of our district, and so we thank you for that as well. Other questions or concerns?
Just a quick comment.
Okay.
It's not a big deal, but is that a typo in there where it says FRP versus RFP underneath, or right above the highlighted 1.95% on the 6 million?
It might have been a typo.
I don't think that changes anything.
Yeah, I still don't see it, so. RFP.
Oh, it's on the second,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yep, the
Yeah, typo.
third from the bottom.
Oh, there we go.
So are we looking for a motion to approve this?
Yes.
I
So,
I just have one more comment if we could. I think it's important to note that we've worked with many of these people before. We've been very satisfied with the work being done. And I would also say that it is partly under the guidance of the board that there was the request for us to go out for an RFP process. And I think it's important for us, for fiscal responsibility and transparency to the public, that we continue to go for our RFP process, so that we can always make sure that we're spending the taxpayer money as wisely as possible. So I want to thank the board for their encouragement to move in that direction. We ended up with the somewhat same result, but sometimes just going through the process and making sure that we have that fairness and have that openness and transparency and ability for all others to put forward their proposals leads to better bids.
and so just clarification too. So we're awarding ICS, if the vote goes through, to be our project manager for the newly acquired DMT building.
Correct. We have separate RFPs out at this time for architectural and engineering services. So all the scopes of work are different. So any of the companies that put in are awarded, like for example, ICS could not, since they're being awarded, they cannot put in for architectural or engineering. We're only awarding one scope per company. And that keeps it more transparent and not the old buddy system or whatever you want to call it, but it's just a really good way of doing it nowadays.
And then I would imagine in coming weeks, the board will have a presentation from our leadership on this project and what the scope of this project is that we're approving with ICS.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it? Yeah, okay. Because this is, I think, the first we've really heard about going forward with, I think we all understood when we bought the building that we were going forward with the project. But I know that you'll come back and share with us exactly where we're going and what the timeline is for some of that development. I'm assuming that some of the DNT building will be done in bits and pieces as we go forward for our needs.
That brings up a really good question, and it would be a question I would ask of Executive Director Zunich. So thinking about some of the things I've heard publicly that the Duluth Public Schools needed to buy this building because this building wasn't big enough, things of that nature. Really, my understanding is that we're moving forward with this to reduce our lease levy, that we would, because we were renting out over $500,000 worth of lease levy each year. When we think about the ALC, the AEO schools, when we think about the adult education, and also, as we know, we have the Garfield building up for sale too, and once that sale sells, we will need location for those areas. Is that correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Good job.
Thank you.
And again, I think I'm saying this more for our community that's out in our audience and the community that will watch this now, is that when the board moved forward a few years back to put our old Central High School on the market on 2nd Street, the vision for the board at that time was listening to our financial advisors and our executive secretary of finances, Kathy Erickson, and our team here, was that building was really causing a lot of budget issues with its maintenance and its need for certain repairs and the price tag. So the board moved forward with selling that building on 2nd Street, which then sort of promotes the other needs that we have. So, you know, we're moving forward fiscally, we're moving forward with sound decisions and good ideas for, you know, putting ourselves facility-wise and the Duluth Public Schools in a better place. So the journey continues. So I'm looking for a motion for accepting.
Chair,
Warren.
just one last comment, please. And thank you for that summary of what we as a board did. I just wanted to say an appreciation again, and I think it was Jeremy who gave the opportunity for all of us board members to tour the Duluth News Tribune building and kind of get a sense of, would this be a good fit or not for potential needs that we had. And so just an appreciation that all of us board members had that opportunity. I know there was some scheduling conflicts to make that happen, so thank you on that.
And just the excitement with just the various things going on downtown Duluth and housing coming into downtown Duluth and just the presence of that building on the corner across from our government services buildings downtown. It's an exciting time to welcome in that building and to vision the possibilities of having a presence in downtown Duluth with our Duluth Public Schools and what that facility can allow us to do. So I'm looking for a motion to accept the memorandum letter for awarding the bid to ICS for the newly acquired Duluth Public Schools building on 1st Street. Do I have a second?
Second.
Member Eater seconds with Member Kirby as the motion. All those in favor of accepting the bid letter submitted by our Executive Director of Business Finance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Now I'm looking for a motion to adjourn our special school board meeting.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Our special school board meeting is adjourned.